The year was 2023. The world had reached an age of dialogue and understanding. An agreement of peace was ultimately obtained. Soon the terraforming project began. The world had become a genuine utopia. By 2165, an eternal peace had been broken. Fast forward to the present, and the final door has been opened. As the world approaches the vanishing point, the world must turn to the greatest evil in order to find a hint of hope. This is the story from like yesterday, and there's stages to this story. The beginning of utopia, the problem with paradise, the collapse of peace, the final door, the last hope. The beginning of utopia, so there was a grand design that was created to assimilate a person into a paradise program. This program would be mirrored through magic into a dimension of its own. It gave the person of choice their own personal heaven with the ability to choose whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. This program was known as Adam. The problem with paradise. Because the human mind, because that one was the beginning of utopia. This one's the problem with paradise. Because the human mind is inherently flawed, no human mind could fully harmonize with the program, which was a work of art, flawless and sublime. Heaven was deemed to be incompatible with humans, for as long as they had the power of choice and free will. So then became the collapse of peace. The year was 2150, and program Adam had to be shut down. People had personally turned their own personal heaven into hell. However, now out of the program, people found it hard to resume their utopia. Suffering, pain, hatred, inequality, ignorance, and fear escalated at an overwhelmingly alarming rate. Soon, many wars broke through over how the illusionary concept of peace could be created. By 2165, star systems were divided, galaxies were distant in relationships with each other. The macrocosmos had turned from united to astray. The final door, the year was 9998 in the AU era. Nothing had changed. Peace was an empty illusion, for it could not be created. A small mysterious organization had made it their mission to travel to the 365 endpoints of the macrocosmos in order to close the gates to eternity. Through closing these gates, the macrocosmos would hit a vanishing point, restarting everything from a blank state. Thus comes the last hope. Although there was still conflict among the stars, a harbinger of peace appeared. This man was named Adrius Genesis. Through his talks of peace and financial backing to help restore many star systems, it seemed as if the macrocosmos was finally going into a direction towards an impending peace. However, his vision was not popular among many, and an unknown terrorist group assassinated him. However, because of what he represented, many stood up to replace him and carry on his views. With rumors about the gates of eternity being closed, a small rebel group sent out a chosen few to stop the closing of the final doors. The irony part is the people they chose are probably the most vile, sadistic, evil criminals in that universe. Things happen. There's 4 factions, basically. You got the small, mysterious organization known Aurora. They believe that the world is better off starting from scratch. So they have decided to restart everything. So they are peace through creation and rebirth, fighting to start the world anew. Then you got the Council of Pacifists. They believe that peace can still be created and have decided to restore the broken world, silencing all wars through means of peace talks and trying to come to an understanding through dialogue. They do not approve of violence as a means to gain peace and are against all organizations and groups that ignore their pacifist ways. I can let y'all imagine how that's going to work out. They are peace through sustaining. They're fighting to keep the world the way it is. Then you have an unknown group, Contra Omnis. They believe that chaos exists to breed purpose and has determined that the only way for true peace to exist is for chaos to flood the world. They are the harbingers of destruction and wants all of the strifes of man to persist. igniting the flames of war, even if it destroys everything. They believe in peace through destruction, fighting to end all. And then you have your protagonist, the small rebel group. They believe that restarting the world is actually the smartest move, but it's not a move that should be made now, especially when people are actually trying to regain the world that they lost. However, they do not believe that peace through dialogue and understanding will work. They do not believe that total destruction is in everyone's best interest either. But what is their end game? So they're representing peace through illusion, and they're fighting for yesterday. Thus the story like yesterday.
The Suggsverse is a series of books written and published by Lionel Suggs, officially titled Heir to the Stars. Those of you who have heard of it may know it as a work that focuses excessively on the power levels to the point of surpassing omnipotence, but even that may be an understatement. The main story begins with in-universe author and narrator, the Ace of Spades, leaving his station after creating 7 possible successors and the ensuing power struggles they face to obtain his position.